friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B. So I got up early this morning, it's the weekend, and took the dogs. We just went up to Dunkin', got ourselves an iced coffee. It's nasty. What happened is they forgot to add the vanilla. Listen, I like an iced coffee decaf, 2 pumps of vanilla, non-dairy milk. They left out the vanilla. It's like not good. That's all I can say, friends. All right, so things that we need to discuss. My fiance sent this to me and I sent it to all my friends and I was like mind blown. I was like, is this legit? Is this happening? What? Did y'all watch that movie? I think it was called Civil War. But it was like a recent movie that came out. I'll have to find it. But this is what happened. Are y'all watching this? Hopefully you can see it. There are military trucks going behind people that are just like standing on the streets. What? What is happening? Friends, look, can you see it? Hopefully you guys can see it. If not, it's on X. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a nice word for it. I have no political words for this right now, but y'all see what's happening. That's the best that I can say to you guys, is no matter what or who you voted for, it's irrelevant at this point, because this is what you're getting. That's scary. I'm a little mind blown, to say the least, about what's happening in the world. Anyway, yeah, that movie was called Civil War, and it was out in 2024. If y'all haven't watched that, here's what it looks like. It's that movie. Y'all need to go check that out. Just saying. All right, on to other things. So I have, you know me, like ADHD kicks in and I just do whatever I want to do, right? Because that's the fun thing about gardening, is we can just do whatever because it's our garden and we can make it happy and change things up and select different products that we want to grow. These were from Haas Tools originally, so I told you we're doing like a Haas tool gardening this go round, so I'm trying to keep it really Haas. I just want to see how it does this year, and if I like plant other stuff, then I'll forget that like where it came from. But so speaking of crazy things that could happen, so you know, I like to encourage like being prepared on this channel, just because, you know, hurricanes come through and other things. It doesn't even have to be like politically driven. I've told you guys that. Weird bird. So anyway, so I have seed saved from last go round, the long beans, the red long beans. Remember, it got really hot in the summer, and so the beans were literally like frying and drying. That's really what happened, legitly. On the vine, they were just roasted. Like right now, the feel like temperature is still in the hundreds. So that's not good. So since these got kind of roasted, I decided to just go ahead and seed save them, because I just didn't want to be wasteful and not and just like throw them out. And so this is what seed saving looks like. It is a little bit of time consumption, but it's time consuming. But honestly, we might want to just get a real good grasp on seed saving, because I'm telling you friends, man, it's just wonky here anymore. I don't even know what's happening in the world. So I'm just gonna focus on what I can change, right? That's a good piece of like therapy, is change what you have control of, you know, and the things that you don't have control over, just do the best you can, you know. Don't focus on it so much. Don't, as my dad would say, don't fester on that. And it's true, like if you think about it, like a festering wound will just literally kill you at some point if you don't take care of it, right? That's kind of like the point of that saying, don't let stuff fester. Just an old southern term that we like to say around here. But anyway, so what we can change is our food and how we can consume it. And if not, if this is still a dream for you all to be growing and figuring stuff out, find people in your community that know how to grow, or you see them growing, and, you know, talk to them. Or go online, find some online forums. Maybe that can help you. I think a lot of people think that they have like a black thumb and they just can't grow. And that's not true. Sometimes the world just doesn't work with what you're doing, but that doesn't mean that you can't grow. Seeds want to produce, really, more than anything. So I'm going to be sitting here. Pumpkin's over in the corner getting some fresh air. Miss Luna's sitting over here on this side of me. Speaking about my pets, ADHD moment. In my last video, I was telling you guys to, like, you know, definitely try to rescue. There's so many pets in the shelter right now. I know times are really hard. You know, that's how you can tell when society's really struggling, is people will give up their pets. And pets are really, for me personally, pets are really therapeutic. I love having my dogs. My dogs bring me joy. But there is an expense and a cost, definitely, that comes to pet ownership. And you have to be prepared for that. So, and I literally think my neighbor just started up his lawnmower. Oh no, it's a diesel truck. Anyway, so if you can't do gardening or something and you need something to fulfill your time, think about donating your time to a pet shelter. They could use the volunteers, and you know, that's just a nice thing to do for those little babies that are used to having a family and a home. And it's good to have human interaction, right? I think Jurgen was the one that said we all need human touch. I think he's the one. Pavlov did the dogs. Pavlovian theory. Salivation of the dogs, that they could be trained brain manipulation. All right, so it's a little bit of a slow process, but you can see we're adding our seeds in here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put these back where they were originally over the summer, which is in that back bed. We've been getting quite a bit of rain recently. This is the time of year that, you know, you see hurricanes out in the Gulf and coming over in our direction off the coast of Africa. And so this is where our subtropical component comes in. That's why I say we get a lot of mold and stuff around here, just because the house always looks like dirty. Being a white house, we're always cleaning it, well, as much as we can, you know, working people, but because we have other stuff to do in our lives, but we do the best we can. That's all you can ask of yourself and of others, is just do the best you can. I think that, like I say, sometimes like this channel, well, I really try on this channel to make it very encouraging for everybody, to just not feel overwhelmed by any process, like especially gardening. Gardening's just such a relief, and it's just so nice. I had one of my friends tell me that they were too old to garden. And they are kind of elderly. So they're like, I just get joy from watching you grow stuff. Which, you know, God bless them. Thank you for watching. I don't think enough people are appreciative of their viewership. You know, they just take it for granted that they have a lot of viewers. Which to me, I just want people to be happy, and I just want to encourage people. If I get a bunch of viewers, then I'm blessed. But if that's not what happens and I help one person or somebody, then that makes me happy. So All right, so that's simple, that easy. We got those in all cleaned up basically. Now the white stuff that you see on there is just the part of the skin. I'd say we have a solid like 25-30 beans or more in there. So let's go out there in the back and I'm gonna go ahead and just line them up. Now I'm not gonna like spread them out appropriately. If I need to thin them, I will thin them, but I'll go show you where we're gonna go out and plant these. All right, so we are over here on this back bed with all the sweet potatoes, but you can see right here that we have a nice little pumpkin. We have a nice little gap right there, and that's where we're gonna go ahead and start getting these planted. Now, before I have them over on this side and that side, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna pop this off. It's a sweet potato vine. You can literally take this vine, you can see it's wanting to reroot itself. You can actually replant this if you wanted to. You can eat the greens on top. These are good in stir fry, and then you have the leaves. So if that's what makes you happy, I have plenty of them. This is good for you and nutritious, but I don't want it in the way right now. So I'm just gonna kind of trench this area out. All right, and I'm literally just gonna sprinkle these through. Like I said, if they need to be thinned out, we'll thin them because I seed saved. So I have plenty, and you just never know what's gonna work and not work. So there's that side. Now honestly, I think what I'm gonna do is right here, you can see that we've got the sweet potatoes kind of taking over this area, the vines. But I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna clean up a little bit of this vine. And you can see that these are just growing, but I've got a nice little gap here. So I'm gonna go through and trench this area. And beans do not take a long time to start growing. All right, so that's simple, that easy. I know most people probably would have spaced them out better. But like I said, I just have extra. I have plenty that are left over in a bag. So if I just get one to pop up or two, I'll get the beans off of them and then I'll seed save for next time. So if you're really wanting to be very cautious about your growing, then, you know, definitely thin them out prior to actually putting them in the ground. But like I said, for me, this is no big deal. Like, I know people are like, there's hungry people out there, and like they would be like, hey, save these, and I respect that. But like I said, for me, I don't know what's gonna grow and not grow, so I'll take it as it goes. Beans aren't really the best for me personally to transplant, so I mean, I'll just end up pulling them. And just so you guys know that, that's why you don't really see like at your local stores and stuff like green beans, because, or beans in general, because they don't transplant well. They're definitely a direct seed sowed. So that's our lovely video for today, friends. We're going to continue working out in the garden today. As you can see, I just have overflowing sweet potato vines. You know what though? Actually, I changed my mind. Let's go over here. This is why gardening is, you never know what you're gonna do. I actually want some sweet potatoes today, and I had already planned on doing it, so let's just do it together. This is my sea of sweet potatoes right here, and always be careful here in Florida sticking your hands in this stuff, because there could definitely be rodents or I mean spiders, snakes. So I would like to see if there are any. Oh yeah. Let's dig this. I can see there's a sweet potato here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna dig this up for us. Now in this scenario, oh yeah. Look at that. That's giant. Look at my hands. Dang, that's beautiful. That's a good enough sweet potato. Oh, I love it. Let's see if it rooted anywhere else in here. Sometimes you gotta, oh yeah, you gotta dig fairly deep to get yourself some sweet taters. It doesn't really feel like there's any, but most of the time when I'm doing the sweet potatoes in a bed, I honestly let my fiance dig for the most part, because they're just not sitting right here on the surface. And one thing I have also learned through my years of growing is that you don't want to pick a sweet potato and eat it the same day. You want the sweet potato to kind of rest. So I like to keep it in a cool, dark place for just a little bit and let it just get kind of sugary. Because if you eat it right away, now you can eat it right away, there's nothing wrong with eating it right away, it gets very starchy and kind of fibery, and so for me, that's not what I want. I don't want a starchy potato. I like a sweet potato to truly be a sweet potato. So you just want it to kind of sit out for a little bit and, you know, let it kind of get those sugars built up in it and then cook it. So I'll probably wait till, like, it's the weekend, Saturday. So honestly, I'll probably wait till like Wednesday or Thursday to actually eat this, just because, or longer. I mean, sweet potatoes can sit. That's why sweet potatoes are really good if they're kept in a cool, you know, dark, dry place. Not too dry. You do want some moisture. It's really tricky. Like, potatoes are kind of tricky. You can't just like leave them, but they'll be fine. You know what I mean? So they'll last a little bit longer than your average vegetable. If I cut a piece of lettuce today, I really don't want to wait till Wednesday to actually consume it. I really want to eat that more fresh than anything, just because of how that works. We can go over and check out the bananas still. I'm actually so grateful because the squirrels have not gotten into it yet. All right, there are our beautiful bananas. Look at that. They are just gorgeous. I mean, they're still producing. What an absolute blessing. And so hopefully we're going to be enjoying those soon. I am just so grateful. This is how we are blessed. God blesses us with this beautiful nature, and I am so happy for it. So, all right, friends, hopefully this video wasn't too long for you. We got a little bit of sweet potato going on. We've got our beautiful bananas that are going to be coming in soon. I can't wait to share that with you. And we just planted those red Chinese long beans. They're beautiful. They're great in stir fries. Make sure that you guys are growing those. They taste better in cooler weather, in my opinion, or when it's not as hot. So think about growing them. They're usually quite a fast grower, and they're absolutely delicious. So, all right, friends, until next time, as always, love one another, be kind. I cannot wait to see you guys in my next video.